You know what I didn't do? I didn't time my launch to my target. That might cost me a lot of time, but this is sandbox mode, so what do we care, right? We kind of do. My launch profile here is horrendous. Just gonna say it, kids. Don't do as I say, not as I do when it comes to the launch. But this vessel is way over-engineered, so it can totally get to orbit very, very easily. Not a problem at all. It's a piece of cake. Way over-engineered. Let's just go laterally right now. Let's just go right now. Let's go, let's go. Push her sideways, kids. This is such a horrible launch profile. If this wasn't over-engineered big time, it would never have worked. But it is. But it is. But it is. And ejected. Now, I might actually have to go back because we don't have any electric charge or way of generating more electric charge. I, again, forgot to put the solar panels on it. Nope, we have this. Never mind. This is the stage that has them, so we're fine, actually. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Cool. Let's go. Let's cut access to this so we don't use it. And now it's all about just getting to orbit. Well, getting to 150 as well, but getting to orbit and 150. Which we're going to get to 150 pretty easily, actually, come to find out, so all is good. Never ever used Facebook. But Facebook used you. You may not have known it, but they got you at some point. We're going higher than this intentionally because eventually I have to meet up with that other craft, and I need to get a little variation in the orbit to do that. We're actually very close. This craft is very close to 180. We went pretty straight. That was a very good launch. Despite the fact that it was inefficient, it was still a great launch as far as like direction goes. And we have tons of fuel to meet up with the other craft and correct inclination and all that stuff. So overall, pretty successful that one was. Just gonna climb a little bit. There we go. Okay. Let's get ourselves pointed down if we can. Take your time, craft. You only have one tiny reaction wheel. Fortunately, being a truck driver, I didn't really deal with the day-to-day. Yeah, okay. Am I getting Monster Hunter World on PC? I think there's probably maybe a 10% chance of that happening. Not really into Monster Hunter. I've seen it played a bit, and I'm just not really into it. Maybe I don't understand the point of it. Could be that. But I'm not interested enough to pay the money for it, put it that way. All right, let's get ourselves in orbit. All right, seriously, can we get to the part where we're at the apoapsis right now? I'd prefer not to raise the apoapse any more than we have to. That will do it right about there. Is good, thanks. Point prograde, please. Point prograde. Pretty much right on it. What you're saying, Charlie, is you lucked out. What do you mean? I lucked out of what? I've been about a year without Facebook and I will never go back. Hey, Reef. The thing I'm noticing about being off of Facebook this whole time is that when pretty much everybody you like know and interact with on a day-to-day, and like your family and all that stuff, when they're all using it, they tend to use it as their primary way of sharing information. And so I've noticed that I am way out of the loop with tons of people now because of that. Oh, you didn't see? I posted pictures. You know, things like that. You know, they assume that because they posted it, their friends all know about it. I've noticed that happening a lot. This is going to throw me off so bad. We're heading that direction. It's going to throw me off so bad. I think I might leave you in this orbit for a bit, though. This is our target. If I leave you in this orbit, you will eventually catch up. I think this will eventually catch up. It might be... You know, at this point, though, it might be worth taking this down underneath it. I think I will. I think we're going to take this down underneath it. We're actually need to correct our inclination, but I'll do that once we're catching up. So let's make a maneuver at the periaps. And have you face retrograde. Sorry, not retrograde. No, yes, retrograde. Yes, you want to be retrograde. And we will make a maneuver at the periaps to bring the apoapsis, like, say 120, 130 maybe. 132 ought to work. We'll do this maneuver because this thing's ahead of us. So the way it works, I'm not necessarily the best at explaining this. I'm just mostly doing this for anyone who's new to the game or was trying to understand how this works, because this part here confuses people quite a bit. So I don't know if you take what I say literally, it might confuse you, but you have to think in terms of relativity. And I've had a lot of YouTube comments. When I said this in my episodes, I had a lot of YouTube comments saying, what? No, you're wrong. This is how it works. And then they just explained the exact thing that I said. They just simply said it a different way. So this craft is ahead of us, right? It is going around. The faster you go, the more velocity you give your craft, the wider your orbit is going to be. You are traveling at a speed that does not allow the planet to pull you in as close, right? So think of it this way. If you... No, I was going to use an analogy that comes from the next step. So let me wait on that one. So if I go prograde, right, my orbit gets further out because I'm going faster. The planet can't pull me in as much. So the faster I go in the direction I'm already heading, the wider out my orbit will end up being. However, going faster that direction relative to my target actually slows me down because this craft has a speed. It has a velocity that's traveling. In this case, it's 2170.5 meters per second. And I'm going to be traveling I'm currently traveling, what's my velocity right now? My velocity right now. I don't see my current velocity. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. 2193 is mine. So 2170 here and 2193 here. I'm traveling faster than that. Like, as we go around, I'm traveling faster, but that thing is going to pull further away from me. It is traveling faster than me relative to me in orbit because it's going slower. That sounds weird, but if you think about it, two cars side by side on a NASCAR track. Let's go NASCAR, right? Two things side by side, right? If they're going to turn, one of them has the inside corner. It's going to pull ahead of you, right? Think of that the same way as this. This is why I get comments that say, this is not how it works. You're going to say the same thing I just said, but I'm not explaining it well. And I think that's like the weird thing. So what I need to do to catch up to this is I need to actually slow down. I need to slow my velocity, my orbital velocity, so that I can speed up relative to that craft and catch it. Take a more inside turn, basically. So when you're thinking, when I say think relativity on that, I'm saying relative to target, not relative to the body. I'm speeding up relative to the body, but by doing that, I slow down relative to that craft as far as my orbital velocity goes, as far as my orbital time. It takes me longer to go around the planet than he does, so he's going faster than me. He's able to do it more times than I am. That's mostly what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm slowed myself down, right, at this point. And what that did is it brought my orbit in. So I'm no longer outside of his. I'm taking an inside corner to him now. My orbital velocity will be slower than him in this section, which means I will catch up to him. I'm slowing down, but I'm going to catch up to him because of that. My opinion, various communication options these days are mostly a matter of taste and user's age. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm going to call you JJ, because I don't know what the BER is. I can't see capitalization, so maybe there's capitalization there, I don't know. But JJ, thanks for the follow, man. Okay, so I'm actually going to go retrograde again. I want to slow down just a little bit more. I need to catch this, and I kind of like to do it today. So let's actually bring ourselves in even more. So I'm going to, again, slow my orbital velocity. So here's my orbital velocity, is 2156. I'm going to slow that down even more to bring my periaps in, let's say, to 100. And by doing that, again, slowing myself down relative to this craft and relative to my orbit. So right at this point, we're going about the same as he is, right? My velocity at this point, or my altitude at this point, is the same as my targets. But I've slowed down now at this part to where I'm now going to be inside his. And because of my orbital, again, terminology is not my concepts, got them. Talking about them, not the most intelligent. But essentially, because my orbit is inside his now, I'm going to catch up to him. So this is going to get caught up too. So let's speed this up. Time accelerate, and watch as my craft gets closer to his. But only really in this area. It doesn't get closer to his in this other area. But I'm catching up to him pretty quick here. I don't think it will take more than 2 revolutions to catch him. It may even be quicker than that. But I think it'll take a full 2 revs. Smaller ring is a shorter trip around. Larger ring means you fly faster, but the smaller ring catches you instead of the other way around. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Might be wrong. May actually take 3. I'm making decent progress on him here, but. And as my altitude goes in more, closer to Kerbal, I'm not able to time accelerate as much. So I can't, like, for example, time warp faster than 50 times once I get inside 120,000 meters. So time warp will automatically slow me down when I get to a certain point. Okay, we are getting closer. That's what these 2 lines are, so I can tell where I'm going to be and where he's going to be at the closest possible point at all times, which is right here. This is where I'll be, and this is where he'll be when I get around again. So when these are starting to get close, I need to consider. And because of how close these are right now, I think I'm going to make a burn right here at this descending node. And we are going to go at the descending node. I want to get, because my inclination is wrong, right? You see how my orbit is slightly inclined compared to the targets? I need to match his inclination if I want to rendezvous them. So that's what I'll do on the next pass. We'll have the inclination changed here. And at the same time of doing this, because the descending node is so close to my apoapse, I'm just going to make the burn here for that too. So we'll increase... wait, what? This is descending. No, we have to go up. Okay, good. So this will match inclination, but I still don't match. I need to match the other thing. Let's just match inclination here, and then we'll do another burn. It's not quite close enough to do what I wanted to do. With 0 degrees. So we'll make this burn here. 59 meters per second. here. And then after that, or right after that, we'll take the apoaps here. At the apo, yep. And then we'll boost ourselves up to the 149 that the target is. And that should bring us right in. Not all the way. Let's go to like 140 instead. That way we're at least still catching him a little bit. Because we're not going to be quite enough. I don't think we are anyway. Let's try that. See what that does for us. After this one, we'll do that one. Okay. Okay, let's go. Correct, Sinkins, yeah. I kind of passed over it a little bit there. When I said I couldn't go any faster than at the altitude, I can... Time warp was going to adjust depending on my altitude, but the higher up you go, the faster you can time warp. Up to a certain level, like up to a certain point. Okay, we're coming around. And we're going to make a really quick burn here to correct our inclination. Really quick. I'm not even going to leave the map screen because it's on the dark side anyway. Okay, let's just boost this up. And done. Spot on. Okay, so now our inclination is identical with the target. So you can't even, aside from the fact that this is inside, you can't really tell where my orbit is and where their orbit is. But it looks to me like I can let this go a bit because we're not going to catch up. So I'm going to let this go a little bit longer. There we go. This is where I'm looking for. 41 meters per second of separation right here. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. So this is the maneuver. We'll go around one more time. This maneuver will then speed up at the apoaps. And we're going to bring ourselves about like that, I think. Then we'll start slowly catching up instead of quickly catching up. Right about like that. 5 kilometers of separation here. Oh my god, we're right on top of it. That's less than 100 meters of separation. Okay, well that's great. We're doing that then. Perfect. So we'll go around one more time. We'll make that burn now. We want it on the maneuver. Yep. That's why I personally prefer to extend my orbit and let target catch up to me. Yeah. Nah. Potato, potato. That's why I could never play this game. I simply don't understand really how it works. Is the graphics mod... What? What are you saying? I don't know that. That second comment, I don't know what you're saying there. Hey, G-Man, what's happening, man? Welcome in. I don't know what that second comment is. Graphics mod doing the effects. The poles? Yeah. The Aurora Borealis at the top and bottom. Yeah. That's the Astronomer's Visual Pack. Although, I don't know if it has that in stock KSP or not. We do have the Astronomer's Visual Pack installed. So that's why the game looks really beautiful. But I don't know if that's... I'm not sure if that's something that's... Look at that. Coming right on into it. He's taking the inside line. Right on the inside line. There we go. Okay, now we're going to go up to this maneuver here. It's a 2-second burn. It's very, very quick. And then eventually we'll catch up to this thing. Really, really fast. Let's extend. And we are good. Okay, 700 meters of separation. I can dig that. I can dig that. So we'll rendezvous with this thing on the next pass, which is nice. So target is there, right? What's the method of keeping that on the screen? I forget. Isn't there like a way to keep that highlighted at all times? I guess it kind of is. I just can't see the distance at all times. So it's pulling ahead of me slightly here. It's because my altitude is just like a couple hundred meters higher than his. So during this part, right at my highest point, he does pull away from me just a little bit, but that doesn't last. Because my highest point is just a little higher than his. But this does eventually start correcting itself, and we are going to get within 700 meters of this thing without me having to do anything. We're going to face target retrograde here. What's up? We're doing a challenge. We're doing a challenge, G-Man. This is not, it's not part of conquering KSP. It's something completely one-off, if you will. Hoping to get it done by the end of the stream, which at our current pace looks pretty promising. With a question mark. We'll see. Yeah, target retrograde doesn't mean anything until we get like much closer. All right, gonna get into physics range here. Frame rates might dip a tad, but probably not. There's not a lot of parts here, so I imagine physics range, we might not even see the transition, and it doesn't look like we did actually. The transition's already done. Please don't make me dock at night. I hate doing all this. Every time I get near a craft, every time I do something, it's always nighttime. It's gonna be night the entire time. Poop. Hate that. It's always freaking nighttime. All right, 1.4, 1.3, 1.2. Getting closer, closer, closer. Stop. We're gonna get 500 meters away from it. So that's nice. Is there an end game for KSP? Your end game is whatever you want it to be. Is there an end game for NASA? You know? What's the end game at SpaceX? At what point does SpaceX say, well, we did everything we could. Packing it up. We're going home. I mean, it's kind of just whatever you want to do. So I wouldn't say there is an end game, per se. Happy Friday the 13th, Nezadam. Yeah, I was reminded about that a little while ago. They said I should have been playing a scary game. I kind of want to get back. I kind of want to play Alien Isolation again. I've seen a couple people playing it. I didn't spoil anything for myself. They were all in the parts that I already done. But I'm just kind of looking and going, yeah, I really regret not finishing that, you know? Okay, so what I've done here is I've made my target velocity, my relative velocity of the target 0, which means we are together now. We're not moving at all. We are side by side. We're not moving. Eventually, one of us is like, there is minor differences. We're obviously not in the exact same spot, so there will be minor differences. And if I sit here long enough, well, it'll start to pull away from me, or I'll start to get closer to it or something. Eventually, that will happen. We're starting to climb here, so. But for the most part, I am gonna go, let's just face target right now. So what I wanna do now is face the target. And then I think I'm actually ready, because of how close this is right now to us, I think I'm ready to just jettison this. I don't need it. Yeah, I kind of think I don't need this big thing anymore. We'll get a little bit closer with it, but it's not really that deal. I mean, I guess I want to save as much monopropellant as I need to. I don't really need to save monopropellant at all. I am worried about running out of fuel, though. Or, sorry, electrical charge. Because we're on the dark side. And doesn't look like we're going to get... I always do my rendezvous at night. It's just the way it works, man. We could speed this up if I don't get too far away from it. Let's well, I wonder what relative is right now. Whoa, what? I wonder what relative velocity is for you right now. Here we go. Wow, this thing's going crazy. Why are you going so crazy? Stability assist. We're getting closer to it. I'm just hoping to get on the light side. I want to do this during the day. I hate doing this stuff at night. It's so annoying. Any hope? Any hope at all? I mean, we're kind of getting there. It might happen. If I delay a little longer, it might happen. It's just me, or despite the good stuff SpaceX has done, Elon Musk is a bit of an ass. Aren't all brilliant people somewhat of an ass at some point? I don't know. Maybe not. Come on, give me daytime. I think at this point we're pretty good. I don't need this extra stage, so I'm gonna go ahead and jettison it. Should I do that forward or backwards? Let's do that. Let's face target. Actually, I think this angle is an okay angle to do it in. This is probably an okay angle. I'd like to see if I can deorbit it, though. It'd be better to deorbit it. Here. Use the flight computer because we can. I'd like to save the model propellant. We're at about, what, 80%? Come on now. Give me the daytime. It's almost, we're almost there. We're so close to the daytime. I'm just gonna do it. Give me daylight, please. So close. There we go. Okay. I'm just gonna jettison this. I'm gonna shoot it at the station. Ready, set, goodbye. Pew! Off it goes. Off it goes. Okay, target prograde, please. No, relative doesn't really matter. Actually, it does. Let's control from here. Why the hell are you doing that? Control from here. Yeah. You're not making much sense. That is where you should be pointing, right there. That's where you should be pointing, but you're not. You're all over the place. That makes no sense at all. Can you kill rotation? Are you capable of that? Apparently not. How are you so far off? You're not that out of balance. That's a problem. You're not that out of balance. You weren't that out of balance before. Let's just let the... We're gonna let the... We're getting further away now, and it's kind of got me a little bit PO'd. Come on now. Come on now. Reaction wheel needs to do all the work now. It's on the edge, so it's not going to work really well. You are not that off balance. It's kind of silly. Also, I apparently didn't need these antennas because this entire time we've been on the little indestructible ones. Yeah, control from here. Thanks. Let's point to target, please. Which you had no problem doing before, and now all of a sudden you do. All right. I'll just manual this because apparently the flight computer is completely bonkers. So we'll go full manual on this because that's what we have to do. Okay. Let's get going a little bit like this. And we'll want to slow ourselves down a bit here because we're going way too fast. There we go. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. 0.2 is pretty good. Let's switch crafts really quick. Have you control from here. And I want you to set this as your target. And just like point at the target the whole time. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go. We don't even need the docking port alignment indicator because this is so small. We don't need it at all. And status rip Jeb. No, Jeb's fine. Jeb is totally fine. Guy's a real trooper. He doesn't even need food. Ta-da! The rocket is partially assembled. Okay then. In that case, make sure our staging is right. Looks pretty solid to me. Whee! Whoa! It has like a bit of a curve to it, didn't it? Whee! Goodbye. Okay, so these docking ports work, allowing you to compress parts. And you can weld things together and all that stuff. So if I compress the parts, I don't know what rotate means. I don't think I need it. If I just say compress parts, let's save it first. There we go. And just like that, these two parts are together like they were there the whole time, like they've always been. They've always been together the entire time. What are you talking about? All right, so that's that step. Now we have the final step. The final engine piece needs to be assembled too. So let's go to the tracking station. And get the third part up in there. And by tracking station, I of course mean Space Center, and of course after that I mean the VAB. We might need a fourth launch to get the Kerbal Space Center out of the ocean. All this time, this bug still exists. All right. Where's the stack decoupler? Up under the command module. Was there one after compressing the parts? Yeah, there should be. It's covering up the heat shield. I think this vessel works okay, honestly. We had a lot of spare fuel. So what I'm thinking of doing here is rerouting to this part. And then like taking this away. Bringing in our subassembly and just going on top of it like that. Biggest problem with this though, see, I need the engine to be on that side. Yeah, I kind of do. What about the stack decoupler then? Actually, we need to do this first. Where is my docking port? It's always an undefined because they didn't classify it. No, actually it has to be the other way. Yeah, sure does. Let's route it to this instead. And then we will pull this away. Nope, that's correct actually. Yeah, that's right. So this is our connecting point. So this is what I want to be my subassembly. This right here needs to be subassemblied. Section 3-1 will go. Okay, then let's grab this, reroute the part to this. Yep. And then we'll take all of this away, bring in 3-1. And there we go. Now, I don't know if I don't think this will work quite the same way, though. I think this is not going to work the same way. Also, important note here. I have no need at all for this docking port. Sorry. Can I help you? I have no need for this. This does not need to exist. Like that. Now, control is going to be hard for this. Control is going to be really challenging. So I think instead of controlling this to dock, we will put this in the general area and get it very close, and then use the other one to dock to this. Because I can't put any control surfaces on this. I mean, I can put a reaction wheel at the top, but I'm not going to be able to center. Like, I'm not going to be able to get... Oh, I can't put a reaction wheel at the top, can I? Ooh, I can't. I have to get the whole thing. Well, it wouldn't... Hi, Warren. Welcome in, dude. Hi, Warren's friends. I think... So my engineering problem right now is that this has to dock to the other part of the craft. But I can't put anything on top of this. Well, I can, because if I'm going to set this in and get this in place, then I can afford to put something here. Then I just get this out of the way and then move the other thing. Yeah, that's what we'll do. That'll work. So I need to put in one of those couplers again. And then we'll just put a probe in. Yeah, like that. Same thing as we did last time, actually. And then from there, let's get some more authority on this. Let's put another reaction wheel in. We can afford that, right? Right here. Yeah, like that. And then from there, we'll just put the cone on there. This rocket looks so ridiculous. This rocket looks very ridiculous. But I mean, I think it will fly regardless. I think it will actually still work. It looks so stupid. I think it'll work. I'm worried about these fins. These fins might screw me up, but I have to have them on. I don't want to put it underneath the fairing, though. Fairing just adds more mass. And probably less aerodynamics as well. If that isn't Wobbleton the rocket, I'm stumped. It's probably going to go all over the place. But you know what? I think it's worth just trying it just to see where I need to go from here. I think it can work. I just think it's going to take forever to get where we need to be. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay. So these two fire first. Yep. Same thing. They have less effect on the craft than they did before. We had so much fuel before, though. It wasn't even a problem. Over-engineer. Then we get this rocket, which should be this. Not seeing it highlight. Oh, it's the mainsail, right. Then this. Then this. Yep. Then this and this. No, this needs to be here. Yep. And then this one. And this one. Okay. Yeah. And we don't want this engine staged. That should work. Section 3, baby. Section 3. Let's go see if it works. Oh, we don't have the antenna. We need an antenna. We got away with having just those 2 little ones before, so we'll just have the 2 little ones. Because again, we've extended the range, so I don't have to deal with remote tech for this challenge. So we'll put 2 antennas on the top here and call it good. And maybe not on the top. Maybe like this. Oh, we need batteries and stuff too. The other module had batteries and solar and all that stuff, but this doesn't. So anything we put though has to be put on the top. It can't be on this module. It has to be on the top that gets jettisoned. So we'll take and put on, let's put like 2 of these little batteries. It doesn't have to look good. It just has to work. And we'll put on like 2 of these guys. Let's put them on the side and put these next to it, like maybe like this. This looks so ridiculous. But the thing about KSP is that you can make things look ridiculous and it will still work. It will still work. Hi, Blue Mustaine. Welcome in, dude. Is Charlie coming up with janky solutions again? What is this again stuff? I don't do janky things. This is just gonna work the way it is just now. You watch, it'll fly, all right? You watch. It looks weird, but it'll fly.